Hey there. So today what we're going to do is we're in the third installment of the RGPtools how-to videos. And what we're going to do is we are going to show you how to set up your own custom character. Now, from this, I already did this once today in all fairness, and it had turned out a Windows update had messed with my driver for my Yeti microphone. So I'm doing it a second time. So I've actually already created the characters. But I'm going to go through and do one more for you just to show you the process. So with that being said, I'm going to switch over here to the screen capture. And here we are on the level that we had just finished before. I'm going to jump in here, and what it's going to have, it's going to have the Will-o'-the-Wisp character that I created instead of the knight that we had used before, because like I said, I've already gone through and set this up once. So we're just going to hit run. Oh, actually it's got the Bigfoot in here. So there's my Bigfoot character, and I'll just zoom in here so you can see him. Big hairy guy, lots of hair, scraggly pants, big beard and hair. So what we had done before was we had set up and showed you how to put objects in so that you could go behind them, come in front of them, and also have blocking. See how I'm clicking there and I can't go through the tree. Then in the next episode, after we set up the level, we added this thin fog overlay, the ambient sound, and this light in the middle of the swamp. This scary magical light. Plus I added a few of these dead trees. I'll just come down here to show you. I added a few of these dead trees and blocked them all out too. Just to add a little bit of mysticism. Now, you'll probably see here what you didn't see in the last one is these interfaces. And those interfaces, I simply just turned those on in game settings. So it's not a big deal to do that. Basically, you just go into File, Preferences, I think it was. This is where you could change your GUI scale right here. So you turn that on, and then I'll close that. But I can turn up my scale. See, my text just got a little bit bigger. And I also made this bar a little bigger, so it's easier to just kind of navigate around being able to view that. That being said, just going to save that because I made my text bigger. Turning on the game window. Where did I find that again? Oh, yes. So I went into the data editor, and basically over here in the user interface, in game, I just checked show game, and then what that did is that enabled me to have the internal HUDs available, because we're going to be needing those soon. We're not going to need those today, but we're going to need those soon. Now, while we're in the data editor, I'm going to show you where you set up the character. So over here, under character classes, there was knight and archer. I copied the knight, renamed it to Bigfoot. I copied the archer and I renamed it to Will-o'-the-Wisp. Then I came down here, and under characters, there was a couple different ones, male and a female. I got rid of those and just added the Bigfoot character that we had created. And same for Will-o'-the-Wisp. I came down here and I added the Will-o'-the-Wisp character. Now what you can do is you can change that to any of these. So there's the female archer that this used to be, and the male archer was also in here. Because in the character creation screen, you'll be able to choose male or female and choose a couple different looks. So that being said, Will-o'-the-Wisp is what we want. We're good to go. We have our character classes set up. But we're going to set up another one, and I'm not exactly sure what type of cryptid to set up, because we've basically got our power attacker in the Bigfoot, which will be the melee combat, and we're going to have our ranged attacker in the Will-o'-the-Wisp, and we're probably going to want some sort of a support cryptid. some type that can maybe buff and heal and give some additional support. I'm not exactly sure what that would be. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to go into the character editor here. But I'm going to pull up a search. Cryptid that offers support and healing. I'm just Googling for a cryptid that offers support and healing. The Caladrius. Let's take a look here. Just going to bring this over. They look kind of like angels. Okay. So we can kind of work with that, I guess. A cryptid with healing abilities. Caladrius, some of the most skilled healers in or out of the cryptid world, which explains why they're hunted almost to extinction by people seeking miracle cures. Somewhere in Western Europe, possibly Greece, blah, 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 much like harpies. Okay, so they're kind of like harpies. Omnivores, they'll lay eggs. Okay, I think we've got enough to work with. So Caladrius. Close that down. Okay, so we're in the character editor. Again, you get to that through level editor, data editor, character editor. So we're in the character editor. And what we're going to do is we are going to set up, maybe I'll make it a little more like a harpy. Maybe I'll do a female here. Let's see, what do we want? Sure, we'll do that one. We'll make it a female. Then we're going to come over here just to get it lined up in here. Oh, we got all the... Oh, we don't want that. File, new. All right. So we got a file new. We've got our Apocalypse character base. So what happens is if you have a file open and you click on something, you can change it and mess it up. So just be aware of that. And these are JSON files. So this is this is going to start a new JSON file. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go with that Apocalypse female 4. And then over here, you could change the view factor of that, so it'll scale in or scale out. Over here are the various animations that are stock. So if I come down here to like say walking, you can see it's playing this little tiny walking animation. And that's great to see what the animations do, but when you're designing and building your character, you're going to want something more like a portrait, because then it's a little better size and you can see exactly what you're dealing with. So now you would come over to here. We don't need to worry about this for right now, except that we want to change this to a female and a female so that it lines up with the game in the database section. All right, then down here in layers, we're going to add a layer. And this first layer, we're going to come over here to models. I want to turn on shadows. And I just want to come down here. And I just want to add female shadow. Done. Now we're going to add another layer. And I'm just going to come up here. And I don't know exactly what I'm going to do here. There are a bunch of female tops and things. Female bottoms. Maybe something like this one. Let's see what that looks like. It's kind of Mad Maxy looking. That's not horrible, but what about something like this? Yeah, I don't know. Something like that. No, I like the other one because I want to give this one hair. There's a biosuit. Clown suit. Actually, that one's not bad. I like that one. We'll go with that one. Okay. So now we're going to find some sort of pants. Oh, crap. Sorry, this one's supposed to be that one. Sorry for the swearing. What I did, I don't know if you saw what I did there, but I accidentally replaced my shadow. There we go. And you always want the shadow like to be kind of first. So now what I want to do is I want to find some bottoms. Let's look in the Norse. Not seeing anything there. What about that? Actually, that looks pretty good. Except if I go here and come here, wasn't this one, was it? No, that was the first one I looked at. It was this one. Yeah, there we go. So now we've got that belt and pouch on the outside. So that's what we wanted. So the pants are underneath. So the shadow is the first thing because it's on the ground. Then the pants. And then the, oh, no, it's the other way around. Sorry about that. It's the other way around. So the lower on the screen something is, the lower in the profile it is. So, all right, well, I want something on the top here now. I want to add hair. So we're going to find some hair that works well. And I think this hair maybe. Yeah, I like that hair. That hair is really good. But we're going to change the color of it. And this is where you can adjust things now. So I'm going to go into the color. And I want to make that hair a little more Just trying to find the right shade of yellow here. I want it almost white. Like a silvery yellow. I'll go there on the yellow. Then I can come in here into the HSV and I can turn up the saturation. It's a little more yellow. And I can turn up the hue, turn down the hue. And turn up the intensity. Or turn down the intensity. And I want it pretty much glowing. Like that. That's gonna work, man. There we go, right there. So I think that we've got our character here because I don't think I have anything like wings or anything like that in the repertoire to add. I'm just going to do a quick scroll through and see if there's anything at all like wings. Do I want to change the colors out here on anything? Those actually look pretty good, but maybe on this, on the colors. Let me just change that just a little bit. Actually, I can go with the blue. Yeah, that kind of looks good. We just give that a little bit of blue. Perfect. There we go. Just one shade lighter like that. Perfect. That's all we needed. That looks pretty good. Alright, now wings, 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 wings. I do not think I've got anything like wings here. So this will be just kind of a heavenly character but without wings. Might be worth suggesting to Jesse from Pioneer Valley Games to make like wings or something as an add-on. He might have them in one of his other kits actually. So I could always add them to the character later if I can find some, because he might have something like that in one of his legendary hero kits or something. Yeah, I just don't think there's anything here. And I really don't want to waste much more time looking for it, because I'm pretty certain I don't have anything. Okay. Alright, well, we've basically built out what we want it to look like. So now what we need to do is we need to come in up here. So you can assign hit sounds for your player character, and I'm not going to do that here. But basically what that means is every time they take a swing or smack a monster or something like that, they're going to make a sound that you've assigned in this position. But there is currently a bug that I've run into where if I have something like a dire wolf or a rat or something and I want to assign a hit sound for that animal, what happens is the player character's hit sound overrides it and it plays for anything. So there's a method that I found that fixes this, where what I can do is I can just create a weapon without a graphic, assign that to the rat or the dire wolf or whatever, and then that weapon has its own sound attached to it. And so that's what I'm going to do for everything. I'm just going to assign sounds to the weapon sets. And the developer Martin is aware of this bug, but he was just working on a big update for the game, which he actually just dropped yesterday. This is not that version. I will probably update over the next weekend. However, he is aware of the issue, and he will be working on it in the future. He just wasn't for this drop. So now, animation states. This is important because in animation states, if you click this button, you will add a new animation and you can make your own. But this default animation state will create all of the ones that Jesse at PV Games, Pioneer Valley Games, has pre-created with his art asset packs, and he'll just create them using this layered up character model that you've just built. So I'm going to do that. Create states, and you can see them all underneath here now. So now I'm going to go File, Save, and I'm going to save that character. And what the heck was it called now? Well, I'll call it a harpy. And that will work fine. It wasn't a harpy though. What was it? Just a second. I'm just going to open up my browser again and get the right spelling. Close that down. Might as well call it the correct thing. Now, there. So we've saved her now. File, save. Now we'll go back into the data editor. And in the character, we don't actually have a character for this particular character class. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to template off Will-o'-the-Wisp, duplicate, then I'm going to call it alright, file, save. But I want to come down here now, and instead of Will-o'-the-Wisp, I'm going to come all the way down and select her. Then hit File, Save. So she is the initial character class. Will-o'-the-Wisp, I'm going to uncheck. Bigfoot, I'm going to uncheck. File, Save. And now down here, there's something to know about. If you're working from the preset heroes in the example project and you want to create your own, these initial abilities and items and things will go into setting up stats and things at a later date when we actually have customized and set up our combat and know what stats we want and how we want those to be affected in game. Because that'll be a session unto itself. So we don't need that for just seeing how they look in screen and in level. But down here, you can add abilities. And now this has attack, fireball, lightning bolt, acid blast, whatever, right? We'll remove all of those. Bigfoot's got those. But there's also items. And there's no items under Bigfoot right now. But under the hero class he was made from, which also gave him those abilities, he had knight's trousers, knight's tunic, knight's shield, knight's sword. And I removed them. And the Will-o'-the-Wisp had archer's trousers, archer's tunic, and archer's bow. Now I've left the archer's bow here as this item for this character just to show you, and that'll be there in game. But I just want to show you can just right click to remove them, or you can add new ones once you set them up over here under items and item stats. But that's another lesson coming. So just be aware of that for the future. On resources also, if you want to assign them X amount of gold to start a game or something, you know, like say you've got, say you're doing like classic Dungeons and Dragons and you want everyone to get 100 gold, or say maybe a thief has 50 gold, but a paladin might have 200 gold because, you know, different class in life and stuff. So anyway, that's where you'd set these things up. But we've got that set up now. We've set her as the initial character. And we're just going to save this. Now we're going to go back to the level editor. We're going to save that. And we're going to play. And now I'm just going to zoom in so you can see this new character in the game. And there we have her. Now she's got that bow that I had assigned to her, but, you know, there she is. She's got her little backpack and her little fanny pack and stuff, and her brilliant golden hair. And there she is, our blonde Lara Croft. And there you have it. That's all I wanted to go over in this episode. I wanted to show you how to set up your character and test them out in the level to make sure that they work fine, and save them out as a JSON file. So I've now created a new character class ready to go. And maybe in the next one, I don't know if I'll do it in the next one or I'll do it later down the road where it's more important to do it. But we'll show you how to set up stats and abilities and give each of these 3 characters now. We've got our 3 cryptids. We've got our Will-o'-the-Wisp, which is basically our ranged weapon type. We've got our Bigfoot, which is our tank or our up-close fighter type. And we've got our, I still don't know how to say that name. I'm just going to say Harpy, but it's not a Harpy. An Angel, whatever. It's our healer class. So we've got our 3 cryptids set up, ready to roll. And that's where I'm going to leave you for tonight. So have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.